Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to actually switch to a neurological subject. Title is Cerebral cortex versus Basal ganglia. As you know, that our brain has two different hemispheres, right hemisphere, left hemisphere. We've discussed about it. I have written extensively about that thing that right brain is actually responsible for all kinds of, that theoretical things. Left is all practical thing. Doctors have left hemisphere of their brain more active than the professor of economics. They have right hemisphere of the brain more active. Same way, we have a brain which is totally developed brain, and we have a brain totally underdeveloped or developing brain. Totally developed brain is known as cerebral cortex, and the brain that is not properly developed or is still developing is known as basal ganglia. The neuronic activities of both this type of brains is different. Cerebral cortex neuronic capacity, neuronic activities are very, very rapid. Person can think faster, person can find the solution faster, person can speak faster, person can solve the problem faster, person is going to write every single thing rapidly, speak every single thing rapidly, and he's going to have lots of capacity, brain capacity to do the things in a very scant period of time, very short period of time. He can actually achieve the solution or resolution of any kind of problem that actually confronts him. On the other hand, basal ganglia, this person has very sluggish, very lethargic, very slow brain activities called basal ganglia. He cannot think fast, he cannot articulate fast, he cannot have cognitive skill to work fast, he cannot solve the problem fast, he cannot learn anything fast. The kind of people we see in the society, we call them, is dimwit or is dumb, is we can say is low educated, he is ignorant, he is dyslexic. These kind of people have this basal ganglia. And those people, like lawyers and professors, they have cerebral cortex, and their brain capacity is very high, their brain is developed, they have very elevated level of cognitive skill, analytic skill, communicative skill, every single thing. You are definitely going to venerate this kind of person, not because the person, but because of his or her cerebral capacity. I have chosen 4 points to elaborate what is cerebral cortex versus basal ganglia. Point number 1 first is active human brain versus idle human brain. Cerebral cortex is an active human brain. It's very active, rapidly active, aggressively active, very accelerated, very lighted, very, very smart human brain. That brain is known as cerebral cortex, which is able, capable, and viable to do anything on this planet. This brain can actually help you to educate, enable you to solve your day-to-day problem, and enable you to get declarative knowledge, procedural knowledge, heuristic knowledge, meta-knowledge, and empirical knowledge. It can help you to achieve every single thing, what you visualize in your life. Actualization comes from the cerebral cortex, not from the basal ganglia. Whatever you are, you wanted to be a doctor and you are a doctor today, you always wanted to be a professor and you are a professor today. This is thanks to cerebral cortex. Basal ganglia is the person who is always loser and the sucker, who is always lazy, lethargic, fatigued, He doesn't have any kind of energy in his mind or body. He doesn't know anything. He can hardly understand anything. He doesn't have analytic power. He cannot actually have cognitive skill. He cannot communicate properly. That is idle human brain or basal ganglia. They believe, the neurologists believe that animals, all the animals have basal ganglia. There is no any kind of neuronic activities in their brain except ape. Chimpanzee. Chimpanzee has 5% neuronic activity in comparison with human neuronic activity. So chimpanzee can think. It can think a little. It can feel little. It can try to communicate with you. It can understand your feeling. It can understand your emotion, and it can also try to express its emotion to you. So this is chimpanzee. But all other animals, they have brain. They have brain absolutely in the form of basal ganglia. Number two, cognitive and analytic capacity versus non-neuronic activities. Now, cerebral cortex has cognitive skill, analytic skill, communicative skill, problem-solving skill, educational achievement skill, every single thing. You can make money, you can run business, you can run a nation, you can run a company. Every single thing you can do if you have cerebral cortex. But if you have basal ganglia, that you have no neuronic activities, you are not thinking anything, you are not analyzing anything, you don't have any kind of cognitive skill, no communicative skill, you cannot communicate your feeling, your emotion, you cannot communicate what your problems are, you cannot communicate anything to anyone. You are absolutely idle, lethargic, inactive, type B type of person, because your neuronic activities are either absolutely sluggish or they are in the form of still developing to become a cerebral cortex. Point number three is probing and searching brain versus dormant brain. Those people who try to solve all the problems, try to find the vax for COVID and the vax for cancer, and to try to solve the problem of their nation and the problem with neighboring nations, or the problem of any kind of economic ills or any kind of extrabiological maladies or astrobiological maladies, calamities or catastrophe. Those people who probe every single thing and try to search the solution, long time, perennial solution of all the social, national or international problems, these kinds of people are those with cerebral cortex. They probe and they search. They use their brain. They have brain capacity 10 over 14. And as such, they never ever feel that their brain is tired or their brain is fatigued or their brain is bored, but more they probe, the more they search and the more they do the research, the brain is going to get sharper and sharper. But versus dormant brain. But those people, they're with basal ganglia, their brain is dormant. It's a dormant brain, means it's not functional brain. It cannot probe anything, it cannot search anything, it cannot do research about anything. It has no cognitive skill, no communicative skill, no analytic skill. It cannot actually put 2 and 2 plus 2, 4. It cannot solve even the most mundane problem of life, that is bread and butter. These are the people who are chasing after bread and butter and they still flunk. People have dormant brain, they have basal ganglia. Point number 4, the yardstick between human and a dumb creature is either cerebral cortex, basal ganglia. Human with neuronic activity, human with cognitive skill, human with flair of communication, flair of life, flair of every single thing. These kind of people, these kind of humans have cerebral cortex. But those who are dumb creature, which cannot actually talk, which cannot express their feeling, which cannot communicate, which don't have any kind of cognitive skill, which don't have any analytic skill, don't have communicative skill. Nothing is there. They don't have brain. As we see in human. Human is every single thing thanks to his cerebral cortex. Without cerebral cortex, we would have been just like an animal. As we were. Millions of years ago, we did not have developed this cerebral cortex, but we had only basal ganglia. It took millions of years to our cerebral capacity to move from basal ganglia to cerebral cortex, and today we have left basal ganglia behind, and today we are carrying cerebral cortex. We can communicate, we can teach, we can learn. We can earn, we can do any kind of business, we can solve any kind of problem. We know what is emotion, we know what is anger, we know what is good, what is bad, what is virtuous, what is ill. We know what is white swan and what is black swan. We know every single thing. We know how to live on this planet, how to live in the nation, how to live in the society, how to live in the family, how to handle ourselves, how to handle our emotion, how to handle our enemies, how to handle our siblings, how to handle our progeny, how to handle our anger, how to handle our disappointment, how to lead life successfully. All thanks to cerebral cortex. So that is a big yardstick between human and animal. The human have basal ganglia, animal has basal ganglia, and human have cerebral cortex. Only the yardstick between human and animal. Basal ganglia, you will find among the animals. That is why animals are animals. You don't see any kind of change in animals in millions of years. And these animals are going to change when their basal ganglia is going to develop into cerebral cortex. They are going to talk like us, they're going to walk like us, they're going to learn like us, they're going to teach like us. But until then, until the day actually dawns, we have cerebral cortex on this planet only. So thank you very much for listening. That's all the time we have. See you again next time. Until then, God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.